Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Monday, October the 10th, 2022. Monday, October the 10th, 2022. Listen, before I get started, I want to remind you, if you love watching my videos, but you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I look at the analytics on the YouTube account and I see I have a lot of daily people that return every day and you're not subscribed. So click that subscribe button and ring that bell so that you can get notified on my daily recaps. Okay, let's jump right in. Today was Brando's memorial service. It was a somber event, tastefully done. Wasn't a whole lot of people there, but you know what? When you think about it, Brando really just had a very close knit, small family circle. So it was represented there. Nina had it on that terrace of the Metro Court, and she decorated it really nicely. Michael, all bent out of shape, with seeing Sonny and Nina together. It's like, get over yourself. You are an adult. You're an adult. Your mother's in Florida having fun, even though she's fighting for her mother's grave to stay where it's at. But oh, she's having fun, and you don't have a problem with that. But Sonny, being Sonny, you're gonna be all bent out of shape, showing this attitude. Willow shouldn't want to go anywhere with him in public because they can't have a good time. Just the mere sight of somebody he doesn't like, Michael can't handle it. It's like, get out of here, Michael. Then we had Sasha was holding up, you know, she was trying to be strong, throughout the whole thing. Remembering Brando, Gladys was having a very hard time, and just rightfully so. That was her only son. Sonny was very, very comforting to Sasha and Brando. It was just a nice thing. Dante and Sam were there as well. Of course, Michael decides he's gonna talk to Dante, about after any more news on the killer. And he goes, Michael, I can't discuss and the ongoing investigation. Yeah, well, Sonny, when he took Dex out of the precinct, he sure tried to take things in his own hands, matters in his own hands. And I was like, oh, you're snitching. Wow, okay. So, yeah, go, if you don't believe me, go ask Dex. So Michael's like, Dante's like, you know what, Michael? Look, let's just put that aside for now. This is a family event. This is important. We don't need to talk about anything else. But one thing Gladys tells Sonny, she says, listen, I was so embarrassed, with my son's drug use, that I told everybody he was dead. And I was thinking, and you also forgot I did insurance fraud because I collected a life insurance policy on him. Yikes. Okay. So she goes, I'm saying this to mean, I'm meaning what I'm meaning is it took me, when Brando came into my life 2 years ago, we had to make roads. It took time. Actually, we were just getting there now. I always thought I had time. So what I'm saying to you, Sonny, is we don't have a lot of time, and we never know when the time is going to be up. So please make amends with Michael, or you may regret not doing so. It was really good what she said to him, because look, if Michael was hit by a car today, or leaving that place, Sonny would be all over his body crying about my son. And so anyway, Michael will be the one to shut him down. We all know Michael. That's exactly what he's going to do. And then we have Jocelyn. Of course, she's knocking on Dex's door. And in my mind, I'm thinking, how does she know where Dex lived? Did he ever give her his address? She just happened to know where he lived I don't ever recall a conversation between the two of them where he talked about my address is 235th Elm Street, apartment 102. But she sure knew, right? He lets her in, and now mind you, Michael says, stay away from her. Michael be pissed if he came over right now. But his hands, his wrists are all sore. He could, barely move them. And he's had his shirt was open, and you can see his bruises on him. But he was trying to button his shirt, but he couldn't manipulate his fingers to do it. So he goes, you know what, I'll just get a t-shirt. She goes, no, I can help you. So she's buttoning up the buttons over his little six-pack, buttoning them up, and he's just looking down at her like, thank you. I like this girl, thank you. And she kind of glanced up, but then she finished, and she's trying to talk to him. See, Jocelyn is making his life her business, and it isn't her business. You need to leave, Sonny. You need to tell what happened. You need. And he's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do that. He still wants to work for Sonny. And then she has the nerve to get mad. Now, at the, not coffee house, but the little, his little teeny tiny restaurant for one, didn't she just storm out talking about, how she's had it with Dex, but we go over there doing the same thing, right? And then she leaves when she still don't get him to do what she wanted him to do. Okay, but one thing that I didn't mention back at Brando's memorial service, Nina, staring at TJ and Willow the entire time. Michael had gotten up because he was mad looking at Nina and Sonny. So he goes to get himself something to drink, and TJ brings Willow over some lemon water, and they're sitting and talking, and Nina's just looking like, what? Huh. I mean, and so Willow says, look, don't look, but Nina is staring at us. See, Nina's mind can only go to the gutter where she lives, pretty much is what she said. And he goes, what makes you say that? Oh, she saw us hugging at the hospital yesterday, and she has decided we're having an affair. And he's like, wait, what? Yeah, because Nina doesn't understand that something else could be going on in someone's life other than something that's inappropriate. Mm. And so he's like, wow, why would he's like, us? No, She goes, look, I'm just saying that's what's going on. So either somebody comes over to Willow, TJ gets up. I think Olivia comes, TJ gets up, and he goes over to Nina. And he pretty much, kind of, sort of, not even roundabout, mincing words, but I understand you like spreading all kind of rumors are all off in our business, and pretty much he called her out on it. And she's like, well, I'm just telling you, I know what I saw, and you don't want to be on the wrong side of Michael Corinthos. I know. So it was a little bit later. Willow and Michael are standing, TJ's there, and Willow's like, well, Michael, it's probably time that you take Willow home so that she can get some rest. And Willow looks at her and she says, I know how to take care of myself. And she goes, TJ, can you give me a ride home? And he's like, sure. And Nina's like, what? Like, she's saying that in front of Michael, asking the person she's having an affair with to take her home. You see, Nina just went to this whole nother level with it. And Michael didn't think nothing of it. Gave her a kiss. Okay, I'll see you at home. Period. And Sonny's like, Michael, I want to talk to you. And that's where they kind of left it off because, we'll see. I already could tell Michael's going to show his behind. Sonny's gonna get mad and Sonny's gonna walk off. I 100% know that's how, what's gonna happen. And we also have Dante at the end. He left. He's knocking on Dex's door, said, I need to talk to you. Do you mind telling me what happened? You know, regarding Brando Corbin's stabbing and what happened with my father? And Dex is just looking. Dex is not going to say anything. He's going to cover. He's not going to say a darn thing. But what better not happen is while Dante is there talking to Dex, Michael better not come up over there. Because now, wait, how do you know where Dex, how does everybody just know where Dex lives? Just show right on up there at will, okay? So then we have, guess what? Our guess was right. My guess was right. Oh, nobody ended up on Pier 54 or 51, wherever they were, in order to save Oz Taggarty. He died. The hook killed him. So he was taken away, and they even did a little chalk body, outline of his body laying there. And when Esme comes walking down the pier stairs after the paramedics, wheeled him away, and she's looking down at it, and I'm thinking, well, where's the blood? That just looks like a body was laying there. Everybody else's scene had a bunch of blood, but it was dark, so maybe we just couldn't see it. And she goes, it's too bad for you, but it was perfect for me. And I'm telling you, just by the way she said it, just by what she is still wearing, that is not the outfit that the hooker was in. It wasn't. And look, I don't mean the hooker, Esme. I mean the hooker, right? Because we know Esme is a different kind of hooker. But anyway, she's wearing something completely different. And no, she didn't go change her clothes. That it is not her at all. And you didn't hear nothing clanging as she's walking, as she's doing anything. It's not her. As a matter of fact, unfortunately, look, she could be the hooker's next victim, except I'm telling you, they're doing this all, because it's centered around her. It's somebody doing this for her. Could be her mother. Could be her mother, because when she was in with Ryan yesterday, Ryan said, you are your mother and I's the best thing, or the best thing we've ever done. Ryan never speaks of her mother in reference to her ever, right? But he included her, in this. And I'm thinking, today I'm like, are they going to bring Esme's mother in this? She will be us. And he thought they were a match made in heaven, because she's probably psycho like him. People are saying Heather Weber. And I'm thinking, you know what? Esme's a little young for Heather to have had her, but stranger things could have happened. Heather could be her mother. And that's double dose of crazy and psycho. Esme wouldn't stand a chance if Heather Weber was her mother. And in reality, Heather is taller than what we've been seeing as the hooker, and Heather is heavier. But we shall see what they're going to do with that. But Ryan did say that, and that stuck with me. So, of course, Esme is on her way to Spoon Island. Ava hears about, the next victim while she was at the hospital for a checkup. She was with Portia, and Amy comes over and she goes, oh my goodness, did you hear? Another victim. He was just brought in, and the coroner said it was the same. He was stabbed with a hook and blah, blah, blah. And Ava's like, oh my goodness. And Portia's like, what? So Ava rushes on the elevator, and for some reason she feels, I got to get out to Spoon Island to tell Nicholas. I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you feel that that's what you needed to do? And it's like when she got there, him and Victor were talking, and Victor, of course, is talking about that, those divorce papers. I don't, you wanted to get your own lawyer. I know that's what shouldn't happen, and blah, blah, blah. So Ava is listening, but she really didn't hear what they said because Victor kind of heard her, and he says, listening, through keyholes. And she goes, no, I came to tell Nicholas. She goes, to tell you that, blah, blah, blah. And I came to get some more of my things. And Nicholas is looking at her. He goes, well, you could have called to tell me that. I mean, let's face it. She had to get a launch from the pier by herself. She don't have her bodyguard. I haven't seen one of Sonny's bodyguards with her. She just doing whatever she wants. And she went out to the island to tell Nicholas that. So Victor says, well, look, it's dangerous. Because she goes, well, you know what? Just have the staff pack up my stuff and send it over to Nina's place. And Victor says, I'll walk you out. It is dangerous. And she was like, once they got to the outer areas, no, I could do it on my own. And he goes, no, I'll see you safe. Now, Esme was at the front door. She put her key in and she goes, oh, they changed the locks. But then I guess she heard Ava, so she hid around, the side of the house. But when she heard Victor and Ava leaving, that's when she decided, okay, she can now go into the house. She ran straight for the safe because she only had like $4 in her wallet. She ran straight for the safe, and she remembered the combination was Spencer's birthday. So she's in there. She opened up the safe, and just then Nicholas comes around the corner and says, who are you? Because all he could see is the back, right? So tomorrow she's going to turn around. I mean, if she tries to make a run for it, I don't see how she could get out of there without him knowing who it is. Realistically, no. So she's going to have to come face to face with him, and she's going to blackmail him. She is going to blackmail Nicholas. And now that Ava's gone, Spencer's not there, he's going to let her stay right there at Windermere. That's exactly what Nicholas is going to do, because Nicholas makes horrible decisions. Horrible. Right now, she's going to say, I'm going to turn Ava in for attempted murder trying to kill me. For one, is her word, the word of a person that the whole police force is looking for. She's got warrants, major warrants out for her arrest. Attempted murder is one of them. And they would probably try to pin Oz off on her too. So bottom line, she can't blackmail anybody. Nicholas needs to say, yeah, you can stay here, but you stay out of sight. Nobody could know you here. Then he needs to leave and go call the cops and tell them exactly where she's at. Period. She's right here on Spoon Island. I made her believe she could stay there so I could get away from her. And now I want you to go and take helicopters, do whatever you got. Don't even take a launch, take some helicopters, go get that crazy chick. So we shall see how she manipulates, because you know what? That 19-year-old, oh, she could manipulate, or 20-year-old, she can just manipulate Nicholas. Oh, it's all her fault. She did it. Yes, Nicholas, right? So we also have that one of the biggest things that I liked was Curtis was talking to Jordan, because Jordan presented him with the divorce papers that she filed, and she even gave him the receipt. She goes, I wanted you to have the receipt so that they were filed. And Portia comes to see Jordan, because of hearing the news at the hospital about the killer, right? And then she sees Curtis there. Curtis, what are you doing here? And he goes, I'm here getting divorce papers. Jordan gave them to me. And she goes, yeah, there was another. Jordan's on the phone, right? Said, when did this happen? She got a phone call, and she's getting the information about Oz, being killed. And that's what Portia was there to say. And they're talking, and they're like, oh my goodness, now we've got Oz, and Jordan is laying out the people, Oz, No, I don't even think Jordan said that. Portia says, you know what? There's one person that almost everybody has in common. Oz testified to help my daughter, Trina. She goes, Trina. And Curtis looks, and Jordan looks at Portia. She goes, Ava was my daughter's mentor and best friend, and Ava would do anything for Trina. Diane was Trina's attorney who stepped in after Scott Baldwin couldn't finish and did the best job getting Trina off. Oz Taggarty also testified that it was Esme that bought the phone. And so then Jordan says, yeah, but she goes, the only thing is Trina doesn't know Brando. That's what Portia said. My daughter doesn't know Brando. And then I think it was Curtis. He says, but wait a minute. Jocelyn was in the alley trying to go after Dex. Brando just came out. Brando was in the wrong place at the wrong time because Jocelyn was there before, and Jocelyn, there's that connection, and they're like, oh my God, this could change everything. Now they're thinking they're now going to probably fixate on Esme being the killer hooker. And quite frankly, I don't think it's her now. That's what's interesting. It's going to be Mommy Dearest, whoever her mommy might be. It's going to be her. Somebody says Claudia Zakara. I think it's going to be in the comments now. Well, Michael bashed in Claudia's head pretty doggone good when he was a kid. It ain't Claudia, unless they could sew a brand new head on her. Let's go to Comment Corner. Comment Corner. We have LaShanta. You gave me a comment on The Young and the Restless. Let's General Hospital, LaShanta. Okay, we have Linda says Frank Smith. She was answering the question on who was the mob boss that Sonny took over when he came to Port Charles. That was Frank Smith. And Gloria says the thing I think it is the same woman that killed Finn's wife, and Liz is going to put it all together. You know what? Stranger things have happened because Liz is good. They're coming up with her storyline and tying it all in at the same time. So it could have something to do with it. Okay. Richard says, another great review, Daily Recap Lady. Frank Smith was the mob boss Sonny used to work for before taking over. Yep. I agree with Comment Corner. There is only one Sonny Corinthos. Treasure Island says, definitely, I really think that Esme attacked Oz so he won't testify against her. Well, Oz already testified against her. And that's what his plea deal was for, letting him off for his crimes. Esme is too smart to approach Sonny, to try to blackmail him. She sure won't. She will try Dex or Nicholas. Hello, she's right there with Nicholas. He's going to do just fine because guess what? Dex will probably have more backbone than Nicholas, right? And then the killer could be Holly, but why? She used to be an informant for the WSB, Robert's partner. I don't want to believe that. Nah, it's not going to be Holly. Could it be Finn's supposedly dead wife? That would explain the poison. She does know about poison, right? But didn't Heather Weber used to use poison too? I think she did. If anybody can remember, let's think back at Crazy Heather and all the crimes she did. Did she ever use poison? That's interesting. Treasure Islands. No, Lisa says, when Ryan said to Esme that she's her mother and I's best thing, I thought of Heather. She's too old to be the mother, right? I know, I would think so. I would think Heather's too old, but maybe not. Treasure Island says, I think I like that idea. I agree with you, but It says, but no, she wouldn't be too old. She could have given birth to Esme in her 30s or 40s. That's true. I remember there was a scene when both of them were in Ferncliff together. It wasn't 18 years ago, but yeah, she and Ryan were in Ferncliff together. Um, and let's see, in Ryan's eyes, Esme is better than Franco. That's interesting, Heather. Huh. Tom says Frank Smith was the mob boss. Yes, Tommy was. He did graduate top of his class. We're talking about Oz. A lot of good it's going to do him now, though. LaShunter says, I'm sick of Nina. Gosh darn it. Does anybody she sees hugging in a relationship? Carly, oh, sees hugging is in a relationship. Carly, hurry up and get home. Check her. Lois says, could the hooker lady be Miss Wu? It is not Miss Wu in her Jimmy Choos. It's not. And then Hello There says, I said that originally, but recap lady gave me the side eye and the pooched lips. What you talking about? Hello There. You make me laugh every time you say that. Robin says, today was a great episode. And we're talking about, if you're new to this, recaps are from yesterday's episode that I did a daily recap on. After wonderful, wonderful GH fans do all their comments off of the recap. So it's always on the prior show. Today was a great episode, but Curtis, and glad that Curtis and Trina are cool, thanks to Portia. Welcome back, Esme. Ryan seemed glad to see her. Whether feeling fatherly or glad has something, well, he now has someone to execute his plan with. Will they let Oz die? I think he would be a good lawyer. That could have been an interesting story. Are they writing a romance for Roxy? Roxy and Yuri's bearded dragon. That would be so funny. They have some little bearded dragon eggs, right? Nakisha said, DC Soap Sanctuary said the hook is Claudia Zakara. I just don't. Claudia's dead. Decades dead. But you know what? This is general. I see them bringing Nell back before I see them bringing Claudia back. I really do. Except Nell had nothing against Trina. She couldn't stand Jocelyn and Carly. Diane did was a lawyer against her. But Oz, no, she didn't even know Oz. So I don't know. I do not know. Okay, let's see. It said, love the recap. Nakisha's, oh no. Said it's Claudia Zakara. Sunny was awful to her. Yeah, she was, but Claudia was an awful person too. I know she was technically responsible for Michael's coma, but Michael lived, so I don't care. Yeah, Michael did live. But Claudia also got killed by Michael, so she did not. Cindy said, I love the song Chase sang at the Savoy, but I could tell he'd rather be with the PCPD. That's right. Brooke Lynn needs to support that if they're ever going to stay together. I'd like to see Chase reunited with his badge. I would too. Oz claimed to have graduated law school top of his class, yet he signed the immunity deal without reading it. I think he perused it before we got back on the camera, because he made them revise it. He made them add stuff in. They were trying to give him the Slim Jim, and he's like, oh no. Furthermore, he put himself through law school selling illegal phones and tending bar at a seedy establishment. And Cindis also said, when Esme and Ryan have interacted, the pattern is usually Things are sweet between them at first, then they threaten each other, then they end up on a sweet note. I also had the impression that her new plans included being pregnant. Yeah, they just didn't tell us. Probably by Nicholas. Well, yeah, because her and Spencer hadn't slept together in a long time, even though they didn't show that part of the conversation. I know. But she's going to open up her coat and show Daddy Dearest. This chemo beauty said, I like the comment someone made about Heather Weber. Could be Esme's mother. She could also be the hooker lady. That is up to Heather would do something like that. She really would. Taking revenge on the people who messed with her daughter. Heather is someone Diane came in contact with in the past. Yes, she did. She probably prosecuted Heather Weber at some point. And Heather, see, Esme's mother knows who she is. Esme just doesn't know who her mother is. And Ryan is lying. He's just not telling who her mother is. Ryan knows exactly who her mother is. Nakisha said, I love it if it's crazy Heather. I like Heather. I like Heather and get BLTs. Yeah, Heather loved those BLTs. She'd do anything for a Kelly's BLT. And then this chemo beauty said, I know, right? And Linda said, very interesting. See, we're already thinking, okay, Heather Weber is the only crazy person that would do some crazy stuff, all for their child. The hooker killer at the end and immediately looked like someone else, not Esme. I know. It is not Holly. It is definitely not Holly. Cody, no. Miss Wu, yeah. It's not Miss Wu. I love the moment between Portia and Trina. Portia had reminded Trina that growing up isn't just your age. Yep. Brooklyn gives away Brooklyn gives away her selfishness constantly and will be her own undoing. That is so true. Esme is a back crap crazy and her father's daughter. Baby bump reveal anyone? Yes, it's gonna be baby bump. Thank you for another great recap. Have a good weekend. Have a good week and some great detective work. All right. Let's see what happens tomorrow. I'm looking forward to is she gonna run away and Nicholas just see a cloaked person? I don't know who that cloaked person is. Or is she gonna turn around and now blackmail him? That's exactly what she's going to do. So I will be back tomorrow for another daily recap of General Hospital.